Hey everybody, John David's had a good week and so have we, and I'll tell y'all the same thing I told his cardiology team when we got to see them yesterday, which is I like these meetings better because if we're doing this once or twice a week, it means that he's doing really well. Also, in the context of what I was telling them, we got to see them outpatient, so we got to see them and then leave. So if we're doing that, we're in a good spot. But this has been an incredibly busy week. We had 7 appointments for him in 5 days, 4 days, I think 4 days. Yeah, because we came home Monday. So 7 appointments in 4 days. And so lots of traveling. He spent a total of 14 hours in the car this week. So we have proven that he has passed his stress test for the car seat pretty thoroughly. Yesterday, he spent 5 hours in the car driving to and from Duke. So he has done pretty well. Now, since we're doing longer days, I have to have notes. But he has stayed home through all of this. Granted, the going to see the doctors for his appointments, but other than that, we've been home, so everything's been good. He has made progress on all of his appointments, so like all the ones that we went to, which were ENT, speech, physical therapy, occupational therapy. He went to his general pediatrician. He went for his helmet for cranial, and then hematology, as well as an unofficial cardiology visit, and I'll talk more about that here in a little bit. But he had all of those appointments this week. So, and if you were keeping count and you're like, oh my gosh, there's 8, it's because the unofficial cardiology I didn't count as an official appointment. And again, we'll talk more about that in a little bit. But he turned 9 months old today, so he is getting to be a big boy. He is rolling. He cannot roll from back to tummy yet, but if you sit on his tummy, he can roll back over to his back. So he's done that a few times, not consistently yet, where he can just master it and do it time after time after time. But he is getting to the point where he will do it occasionally. So he is getting better and stronger. He also helped pick Hunter up from daycare this week. We all got to go on a walk and pick Hunter up from daycare, which is not far from our house, and come back. And so that was really fun to do as a family. He got his first real bath since his lab procedure 2 weeks ago tonight with Mama Kay and Mallory. He also got to experience our house being hotter. Granted, thankfully, we have a split unit, so our downstairs was not crazy hot, but our upstairs was 120 degrees this week, so we had to deal with that and get it fixed. Luckily, it wasn't a crazy fix. It was just a simple wiring issue, and so it got fixed, and so we're all good now, but definitely not what we thought we were coming home to when we came back home. Nana came by and got her first hold with him, as well as Auntie JJ, and they loved that. We visited one of our friends, at Miss Sarah, and so that was a lot of fun getting to see her. Also, he got to lay on the floor, and this is something that I think I've brought up in videos before that I used to do with Hunter, like sitting here on this couch and watching TV, specifically watching fishing and hunting videos when Hunter was a baby and had really bad spit up and reflux. We would just literally stay here, so he would be on an incline and watch these videos, and John David got to watch some with Hunter, and that was like kind of a really full circle moment that was fun of watching fishing videos all together. And then we went bullfrogging with Papa Steve in November, and I was not expecting to see any bullfrogs, but we saw 5 and almost got one, so that was fun. Hunter was disappointed that we didn't get one, but it's November. It's not even bullfrog gigging season, so like it was just fun to go. It was something to get him out of the house for a little bit while John David settled down, because he has been a little fussier over the last several days because he has had his first virus confirmed. He may have had one before now, but we've been doing viral panels for the last several months at Duke, and none have shown up, at least not for the ones he's tested for, because there are thousands upon thousands of viruses, and their viral panel is like I think the main 150 or something like that. So he hasn't hit any of the really common ones since he's been born up until this week. And that goes into why we had the unofficial cardiology visit. So Thursday, he was not doing real well in terms of like, he just wasn't himself, wasn't smiley, wasn't happy. He's usually a pretty easy baby, pretty happy most of the time, and he just was not that way Thursday. Was really whiny and just wasn't something. We knew something was off, and so we hooked him onto the pulse ox Thursday evening, and he was tachycardic, meaning high heart rate, as well as being marginal, a little bit on the lower end of his saturations. And so we were like, something's just not right. And so they have a number we can call to talk to the cardiology department when these things happen. And so it was somebody we know, of course, because we've been there for forever. And he was saying, well, let's monitor for a little bit. And he kind of held steady for a little bit, slightly improved, and then we called back, and they were like, well, maybe you should go to the ER. And about that time, he started to actually get better. And so we ended up spending the night here. His heart rate came back down into more of a normal range, and his saturations went back up. And so when we already had an appointment with ear, nose, throat with ENT at Duke on Friday, and so we went up there. They did order a viral panel as well as an X-ray just to make sure that everything kind of checked out. And his X-ray looked good. Good for him. So it's unchanged. He still has some pulmonary edema, meaning some fluid in the lungs, but nothing crazy. Nothing, no more than what we would expect to see, given that he was on the ventilator for so long. And he tested positive for the rhinovirus, which is the common cold. So what we're thinking is that Thursday was him just showing the symptoms of the cold. The last couple of days, he still has not quite been 100%, but he has been better and much more like himself. However, when he's spitting up, he is spitting up like phlegm. And so definitely is not the happiest camper right now in terms of where he could be or where he has been historically. But he has shown improvement every day since Thursday. And so we're hoping that that'll continue as we go on through the coming weeks. And that way he gets back to his full health self. And, so that was our first health scare being home. Thankfully, it ended up, this is kind of a double-edged sword. We don't want him to be sick. But the positive side of this is that he has shown that A, he handled it well, and that his heart handled it well. And that B, I already did too, but that he did B was that he adjusted to it. So like he was under stress. His body obviously was under stress, which is why we noticed differences in him. But then he adjusted and adapted to it and is recovering. So like those are all like positive things for us. And then C, the fact that it was actually something that was measured. So like to us, the thing that would have been scarier would have been, and we've been here before with him, of not knowing what caused this stuff. But luckily with this, it was, viral panel is pretty easy to pinpoint and be like, that right there. So we are pretty happy that there was a cause for it, that it did not lead to bigger issues, and that he handled it well overall. Excuse me. Now, he is definitely loving his Mamaroo. We got one for Hunter back when he was a baby here at the house, and then broke it out of the attic when John David came home, so he has been loving that. And he also got to go feel grass for a little bit today, which he has not had the opportunity to feel much grass in his life, but he enjoyed it. And he also got to see his aunties who came back home today. And then we got to hang up our Choose Hope Daily sign over the door that our friends gave us. And it is a reminder every day that when we leave the house to choose Hope Daily and have that mindset of choosing how we're going to feel that day and choosing our mood, which can sometimes not be the easiest thing, especially given all the trauma that we've all gone through and given the load of stress that we have in our lives. But it is definitely something that is a conscious choice that we're going to continue to do, and that is choose Hope Daily. But that has pretty much been our week. I know that is a lot. We definitely know it was a lot because we did it, but it overall has been a very good week for him. We are happy to finally be home and be here spending time together as a family. And we will be doing these on Tuesdays and Saturdays. So it'll be twice a week, just kind of giving spot updates and just showing how life is going with us and kind of what life looks like for families who deal with complex congenital heart defect diagnosis. This is what a normal life looks like for families who have these children. Like, it is not easy, but it is definitely worth it to spend time together as a family here at home and be out of the hospital. And honestly, some of my favorite moments from this week, you'll see in some of the pictures where like Hunter and John David spent time together. I know I brought up the one like fishing, but also, them sleeping, like Hunter sleeping in our bed next to the playpen where, or or the pack and play where John David was sleeping, like those are moments that we have longed for a very long time, and we are very thankful to be able to get. And I need to hurry up and finish this up and upload it and get to bed because John David is going to get baptized in the morning. And then if y'all would pray for these 3 things, one, that he'll continue doing well and progressing forward, and that in his upcoming appointments this week that he will do well, one of them being that he will have a cardiology appointment coming up and that he will get a good report back on his echo. 2, if you would pray for all of those who've lost loved ones, especially those who have lost children. And then 3, if you would pray for all of the kids and families who are battling congenital heart defects, because again, this is a long and winding road and it is tough for everybody. But I hope y'all have a good night and God bless. Y'all continue to choose hope daily.
Daddy, I love you.
David. Tell everybody bye-bye.